Hello everyone, this is Sumaya Abid. I am a student of Media Studies at ICAS and I will be answering the first CCR question: how does your product use or challenge conventions, and what social issues or social groups it represents? So the idea was, from the very start, the idea for this film opening was that I wanted to show somebody who is mentally not who's not mentally well, and they have disorders like OCD, schizophrenia, and paranoia, and how these disorders can affect somebody like this if they are being triggered, or even if they're not being triggered, but if they get worse, then how can it disrupt their normal routine, their day-to-day life. So it starts with the character. She comes home from work, she takes off her shoes, she locks the door, turns the light on, she takes off her coat, takes off her watch, and we showed that this routine, her day-to-day routine, the music is really calm, the music is really comforting, and then the whole dynamic changes when there is a doorbell. Like, she doesn't let anybody in, she's not happy with whoever is at the door. It doesn't show that who's at the door, but she is clearly not happy with whoever it is, and she frantically locks everything, and the camera movement is shaky, pans out, and through editing, the color turns to black and white. The whole idea for this is that she is upset at something, and her perception of the world changes from colored to black and white just because she is not feeling well mentally. And this is represented in the whole series, where she washes her hand and it's still black and white, but then by the time she's done, it's back to colored. And her taking her watch off, she's sitting at the bedside table, and she's sitting at the bed, and she takes off her watch and then puts it at the table, and then she fixes it because it's a bit crooked. That represents her OCD. And the vigorous washing of her hands also is a sign for OCD. And then the way it progresses from doorbell to knocking to straight up banging on the door, and it's never shown what her face looks like. All of the shots, because I was in charge of the camera work, all of the shots were taken in a way that it's all from either her point of view or over the shoulder. Nothing is focused on her face, or the audience doesn't know what the character looks like until the very end when her face is revealed. So that's also a reason to build up the mystery and to build up the suspense that what's going on. Other than that, the knocking and the banging part, every time that there's a knock on the door, there's a doorbell, we don't see who is at the door. But at the very end, when there is a week later, like a period passes by and she's cutting up vegetables in her kitchen, there's really frantic banging on the door. And when she goes to check it, when it's being banged, there is a zoom out shot from the peephole of whoever is on the other side of the door, and there's nobody, but the door is being banged. So that more or less hints or solidifies the fact that she's just imagining these things. Now, people with schizophrenia or people with paranoia are very prone to hallucinations. They can be auditory, they can be visual. So it plays a role that the doorbell, the knocking, the banging, they're all auditory hallucinations. Nobody's there. And the fact that she is really upset or really paranoid by these things hints at paranoia. And then at the very end, when she opens the door, she takes her knife with her and then she stabs someone. Who did she stab? because from the banging scene, there was nobody at the door. But she stabbed someone. Did she hurt herself? Did she hurt somebody innocent? Was there actually someone or something? We don't know. That's the whole cliffhanger, or the way that the story ends at such a crucial point without justifying. It's an open ending in a way. It leaves the audience to wonder what's going on. So, in conclusion, the idea for this for this film opening is to represent mental health issues and to represent people who are suffering from these unfortunate disorders and how their life gets affected if they are triggered. Thank you.